Hello and welcome to Bonhill Geography. In today's video we can look at the types of aid, specific examples and explanations about how they help Nigeria. We'll also discuss the advantages and disadvantages of using each type of aid and how that impacts Nigeria's future economy or economic prospects. As a reminder, aid is when a country or non-governmental organisation, NGO for short, donates money or resources to another country to help improve people's quality of life or standard of living. Now, aid can be given by another country, bilateral aid, a charity, the United Nations, businesses, or individuals. It can be received by anyone in need, especially following natural disasters, in war-torn countries, or among people living in poverty. Let's dive into this aid in a bit more depth. First, we have emergency aid. Emergency aid is provided in response to immediate crises like natural disasters, conflicts, or even epidemics. Now, it involves food, water, medical supplies, and temporary shelter. It could even be, for example, search and rescue teams as well. For example, following a natural disaster, emergency aid helps to save lives and provides immediate relief to affected population. So emergency aid can stabilise that country that receives it during a crisis, allowing it to recover more quickly and resume its economic activities. However, emergency aid rarely contributes to long-term economic growth, and it can create dependency if it's not managed properly, particularly if a country is continuously affected by civil war or by natural disasters. Now, developmental aid focuses on long-term projects aimed at improving infrastructure, education, healthcare, and economic development. This type of aid helps to build a sustainable system that will improve quality of life over a longer period of time. For instance, the World Bank approved $500 million in 2014 to develop projects in Nigeria and provide long-term loans to businesses there as well, helping to reduce dependence on oil as a main source of income. Now, as a result, this developmental aid can significantly boost economic growth by improving this infrastructure, education and healthcare, meaning people can stay in work for longer, creating a more skilled workforce. You can enhance productivity and you can attract more foreign investment. However, as is implied by the big video in the background, this can lead to corruption and inefficiency. As a reminder, corruption is when people will steal the money for their own gain and not spend it on its intended purpose. Okay, let's now look at some specific examples. So our first example is the UK has funded health and HIV programs mainly by providing health education to rural areas. Now, these programs are going to significantly improve health outcomes and reduce the prevalence of HIV. The next example is the Nets for Life, which is an NGO or charity. Now, this provides education on malaria prevention and distributes mosquito nets to many households. Again, this is going to simply reduce the incidence of malaria, which can lead to serious illnesses and even death. Now, preventing malaria improves the overall health of the population across all age brackets, but also, very importantly, it reduces absenteeism in school and increases work productivity. Healthy individuals are also more likely to effectively contribute to the economy itself, which is going to enhance growth prospects for that economy. In 2010, funds from the Action Aid set up the Adawan Health Centre in the north of Nigeria. Now, this centre supports mothers and babies, provides vital vaccinations against polio, and offers free HIV tests for mothers that are concerned. Now, the health centre's services improve maternal and child health, which helps to significantly reduce infant mortality rates, and obviously enhancing the quality of life. As a result, a healthier population can also engage more effectively in economic activities. Again, going to have this idea of driving growth and further development. Now, we talked earlier about this idea of corruption and how it can be used in a less successful way. For example, government officials or individuals might divert that aid due to personal use or other purposes, leading to a loss of aid and reduced effectiveness. For example, there's claims that aid money sent by the World Bank was actually being spent on building up Nigeria's navy instead of being used for development projects. So it's not helped anybody that needed that money the most. Now, donors may also have political influence over what actually happens to the aid that is sent. This can lead to aid being used to promote commercial or self-interest of the donor rather than actually addressing the needs of the recipient country. so almost like a bribe to increase their presence. Okay, so here's a summary slide on everything discussed within the video, as well as a summary slide on the next as well. I'll put the duration of these at 10 seconds each. Okay, so there's only one real kind of expected question that I think you could be asked about this, which is normally to what extent question. So to what extent has aid impacted quality of life in an LIC or NEE you have studied? Obviously we use Nigeria here, but what's important is you have to use specific examples to get into that top level bracket. So we're going to aim for 2 Peel paragraphs. My favourite and most easy ones in my opinion to talk about are the NGO Nets for Life and the Adawan Health Centre. But obviously the decision is yours. Please pause here and have a go before you move on. Now here we can see a really good example of a 6-mark response where we've got one paragraph leading to what's good about aid using a specific example here. So we have the HIV programs, and then a disadvantages of aid about corruption and not going to the people that need it. So we can see this would obviously achieve the full 6 marks. No conclusion is needed because we have 2 excellent links. Thank you for watching Bonhill Geography. I'll catch you in the next video.